Happy almost Thanksgiving, everyone. It's Terry.
And Sheri.
And you're joining us as we dive deep into Thanksgiving.
All the traditions and some really interesting history, too.
Yeah, Jamie did the research for this one.
Well, really dug deep.
Before we get started, though, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.
And if you're feeling extra grateful
for our work,
you can buy us a coffee
at buymeacoffee.com/Jamie McAllister.
And don't forget to leave us a comment below.
Yeah.
With any topics.
Would you want to hear about?
Yes, exactly. Future deep dives.
Let's get started.
Okay, so Jamie's research takes us all the way back to the Pilgrims.
On the Mayflower.
And let's just say it wasn't exactly smooth sailing.
No, not a luxury cruise at all.
Over 100 people crammed onto a ship.
For 66 days, the size of a soccer field.
No Wi-Fi. No streaming services.
Just endless ocean and hardtack.
And to top it all off, they missed their intended destination.
They were headed to Virginia.
Right, and ended up in Cape Cod instead. Kind of like planning a trip to Disneyland and ending up at a tax seminar.
Yeah, what a bummer.
But it gets worse.
Oh, no.
They faced a brutal New England winter, and almost half of them didn't survive.
Wow, that puts things into perspective.
Makes you appreciate what you have.
Definitely makes their gratitude for the next year's harvest
all the more powerful.
That's where Squanto comes in, right?
Yeah.
Jamie calls him the
original life coach.
Yeah. Pretty accurate description, I'd say.
Totally. Squanto was a Native American who could speak English.
Oh, wow. So he was able to
help the Pilgrims survive. He taught them how to cultivate corn.
How to tap maple trees.
How to navigate the local waters. It was a crash course in New England living.
Without him,
things might have been very different.
Okay, so let's talk about the first Thanksgiving feast.
We all know the basics, but Jamie dug up some interesting details.
Like what?
Well, for starters, it wasn't just a one-day dinner.
Oh, really?
It was a 3-day celebration.
Now, that's what I call a party.
And get this. The main course wasn't actually turkey.
I thought turkey was like the whole point of Thanksgiving.
Nope. It was most likely venison.
Venison. Like deer.
Exactly. The Wampanoag guests brought 5 deer to the feast.
Can you imagine the leftovers?
And forget about side dishes like sweet potatoes and green bean casserole.
Those came much later.
The first Thanksgiving was a real fusion of English and Native American traditions.
Interesting. So did they even call it Thanksgiving back then?
No, not really. It was more of a traditional English harvest festival.
Combined with?
Yeah, Native American customs. The term Thanksgiving came later.
So how did this harvest feast become the national holiday we celebrate today?
Well, it was a slow and bumpy road.
It wasn't just like, bam, Thanksgiving.
In the early days of America, celebrations were sporadic.
Different colonies observing it on different days?
Exactly. It wasn't until 1789 that George Washington issued the first national Thanksgiving proclamation.
But even then, not everyone was on board.
No. Some people, like Thomas Jefferson, opposed the idea.
Really?
He saw it as a religious observance and that the government mandate it.
I see.
So it took a lot of work to make Thanksgiving a national holiday.
Like whose work?
Well, Sarah Josepha Hale was a big part of it. She was an editor and author.
Okay.
And she spent decades writing letters to governors, senators, even presidents.
Wow, she really campaigned for it.
She advocated for a fixed date for Thanksgiving.
And it worked.
Eventually.
Yeah.
In 1863, President Lincoln declared Thanksgiving a national holiday.
Wow, that's...
During the Civil War, it was a gesture of unity and hope.
So Thanksgiving has come a long way.
From a simple harvest feast to a national symbol
of gratitude and togetherness.
Exactly.
Speaking of symbols, let's talk turkey. Did you know that Benjamin Franklin?
Oh, I love this.
Preferred the turkey over the bald eagle as the national bird.
Can you imagine a turkey on the dollar bill?
I mean, it's kind of funny.
There's actually a deeper story there, though.
Oh.
Franklin saw the bald eagle as having bad moral character. He thought it was a scavenger that steals from other birds.
And the turkey.
He considered it a bird of courage. A true original native of America.
That's a side of Franklin we don't hear about often.
I know, it's interesting.
These days, though, the turkey is famous for its unfortunate fate.
As the centerpiece of the Thanksgiving feast.
And we're not talking about just a few birds here.
46 million turkeys are consumed on Thanksgiving each year.
That's a lot of drumsticks.
No wonder we have a tradition of presidential turkey pardons.
Speaking of which, did you know that tradition didn't become official until the Reagan era?
Really? I thought it went back to Lincoln.
Some people claim that, but there's no evidence to support it.
So the turkey pardon is more modern than we thought.
But hey, who doesn't love a good presidential pardon? Especially when it involves a cute gobbling bird.
Absolutely.
Oh.
All right, let's shift gears and talk about some iconic Thanksgiving traditions.
Like what?
Well, first up, we have the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
With giant balloons and festive floats.
And marching bands. It's been a New York City tradition since 1924.
It's the unofficial start of the Christmas season for a lot of people.
Even though it celebrates a completely different holiday.
And then there's football.
Thanksgiving without football is like pumpkin pie without whipped cream.
You can't have one without the other.
Exactly. The tradition started in 1876 with a game between Yale and Princeton.
Wow. That's a long time ago.
Today, NFL games on Thanksgiving are a staple.
Gives families another reason to gather around the TV.
And is a welcome distraction from that inevitable post-dinner slump.
For sure. We can't forget about Black Friday either.
The shopping frenzy right after Thanksgiving dinner.
From lining up before dawn to battling for discounted TVs.
It's consumerism at its finest.
It's kind of crazy how much emphasis is placed on shopping.
After a day dedicated to gratitude.
It's a bit of a contradiction.
But who can resist a good deal?
I know I can't. But before we get swept away by Black Friday deals, let's take a moment to appreciate
the true heart of Thanksgiving.
It's about so much more than just food and football.
It's about family reunions, sharing memories, expressing gratitude.
For all the good things in our lives.
Even with the occasional family squabble.
Or that one relative who brings up politics at the dinner table.
There's a warmth and togetherness that's hard to replicate.
That's true. It's about embracing the beautiful chaos that is family.
And Jamie found some heartwarming anecdotes about Thanksgiving traditions.
Oh, I love a good story.
One story is about a family who completely forgot to turn on the oven for their turkey.
Oh, no. What did they do?
They ended up ordering Chinese food.
No way.
And they called it the year of the turkey that wasn't.
That's amazing.
It became a cherished family memory.
A reminder that sometimes the best stories come from unexpected mishaps.
Exactly.
Okay, what's the next story?
This one is adorable. Jamie found out about a family who keeps a thankful jar.
A thankful jar.
All year round, they write down things they're grateful for.
Big or small.
And then on Thanksgiving, they read them aloud.
What a beautiful tradition.
It's a great reminder that gratitude shouldn't be confined to a single day.
That we can cultivate it all year round.
You got it.
We've covered a lot in this first part of our Thanksgiving deep dive.
We've journeyed from the Mayflower to modern-day feasts.
Explored the evolution of traditions.
And unearthed some surprising facts along the way.
Before we move on to part 2,
we want to hear from you.
What are some of your favorite Thanksgiving traditions?
Or maybe some funny Thanksgiving mishaps.
Leave a comment below and let us know.
We'll be back in a jiffy with more insights into Thanksgiving.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back to our Thanksgiving extravaganza. We've been on quite a journey.
From those brave pilgrims to the evolution of the holiday.
It's amazing how Thanksgiving has woven itself into American culture.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
And while we've covered a lot of history, I think it's time we take a closer look at the heart and soul of Thanksgiving.
You're right. It's about more than just the trimmings.
What makes it so special? Beyond the food and football.
At its core, Thanksgiving is about gratitude.
A time to
reflect on the good things and appreciate the people we share them with.
Even if it comes with some quirky relatives.
This awkward conversation.
It's about embracing the beautiful chaos that is family.
Speaking of family, Jamie's research highlighted some interesting trends about how traditions are evolving.
Oh, like what?
Like Friendsgiving. Have you heard of this?
Oh yeah, Friendsgiving.
It's becoming really popular, especially among younger generations.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a chance to celebrate Thanksgiving with your chosen family.
Yeah.
A potluck feast without the pressure of traditional family dynamics.
So it's like Thanksgiving, but more relaxed.
Exactly.
Less pressure, more pie. I like it.
It reflects changing social dynamics.
And how our definition of family is expanding.
Right. It's about creating your own traditions.
Celebrating in a way that feels authentic.
And it highlights the growing importance of chosen families.
Those close friends who become like family.
Exactly. It's a reminder that family isn't just about blood ties.
It's about those deep connections we make.
With the people who understand and support us.
It's a beautiful thing.
Even though Friendsgiving is a newer tradition, it still embraces that core Thanksgiving value of gratitude.
Appreciating the people who enrich our lives.
Family, friends, colleagues.
It's important to remember that Thanksgiving isn't just about acknowledging our own blessings.
We should extend that gratitude outwards to our communities.
To those who might not have as much.
Jamie's research shows that volunteerism surges during Thanksgiving.
That's nice to hear.
People donating their time and resources to help those in need.
It's great to see that generosity.
From serving meals at shelters to organizing food drives.
But it's not just about the big gestures.
Right. Even small acts of kindness can make a difference.
Like donating to a local charity or checking in on an elderly neighbor.
Exactly. Spreading that Thanksgiving spirit.
Of generosity and compassion.
Throughout our communities.
It makes me think about how Thanksgiving has evolved.
From a historical perspective.
We've come a long way from that first harvest feast.
Shared by the Pilgrims and the Wampanoag.
The way we celebrate has changed, but the core values
of gratitude,
community, and shared meals
have stayed the same.
It's fascinating how Thanksgiving has adapted and evolved.
While holding on to those essential elements.
They're really important in our lives. As we move further into the 21st century, how will Thanksgiving continue to evolve?
That's a good question.
Will we see more shifts in traditions? Or will we find new ways to embrace those timeless values in a changing world?
It's hard to say for sure,
Yeah.
but I think Thanksgiving will continue to be a time for reflection, gratitude, and connection.
Whether it's celebrated with family, friends, or a mix of both.
The spirit of this holiday will endure.
Welcome back to our Thanksgiving deep dive. We're in the final act now.
I hope you save room for dessert.
We've got some final thoughts coming up.
We've covered a lot,
Yeah.
from the Pilgrims to modern-day Friendsgiving.
Talked about the traditions, the history, and the heartwarming spirit of gratitude.
But as we wrap things up,
What are your biggest takeaways?
for me, it's the resilience of the human spirit.
Oh, how so?
The Pilgrims faced incredible hardships, yet they still found reasons to celebrate and give thanks,
And that spirit is still with us today.
reminding us to find joy and gratitude even when things are tough.
That's a good point. And as we've talked about, the way we celebrate has changed.
But those core values of gratitude, community, and togetherness,
They've stayed with us.
it shows how important they are.
And we can't forget about the evolving nature of Thanksgiving traditions.
Right. From Friendsgiving to the awareness of the holiday's complex history,
It's becoming more inclusive and mindful,
it's inspiring to see how people are finding new ways to honor the spirit of Thanksgiving.
while acknowledging the need for change and growth.
It's a dynamic holiday
Not static, always changing and adapting.
to reflect our values and perspectives.
What do you think Thanksgiving will look like 50 years from now?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Will we still gather around overflowing tables?
Or will we find new ways to express gratitude and togetherness?
Who knows?
It's hard to say for sure, but I think Thanksgiving will always be a time for reflection, appreciation, and connection.
Whether it's family, friends, or both.
The essence of this holiday will endure.
I want to thank you, our listeners, for joining us on this journey.
We hope you learned something new.
Maybe had some laughs along the way.
And a big thank you to Jamie for the incredible research.
From all of us here at The Deep Dive, we wish you a very happy Thanksgiving.
Filled with delicious food and heartwarming moments.
And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel.
For more deep dives into fascinating topics,
And if you're feeling extra grateful,
you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Jamie McAllister.
until next time, stay curious and keep diving deep.